Okay, the title is half a lie. I saw season 1 around the time of its release, and then the Mugen Train movie sometime after it was streaming, I think, and I loved it. I loved Demon Slayer so much, and I just never went back to it. Until right now. Every time I saw a movie in IMAX, they'd play the damn trailer for Infinity Castle, and it kind of brought me back. Each showing I saw with the trailer licked my brain, but that was just the start of the trickle. The full push off the cliff was the Thursday night, release night. It's like everyone was watching. My brother bought a ticket out of the blue. My friend went to see it. Another Instagram story of someone seeing it. I knew others that were planning on seeing it. The fear of missing out on something I once gushed over, a phenomenon, an event was looming, and I had the chance to partake. So I looked at the show. Thank God it's on Netflix. I was ready to borrow someone's Crunchyroll, and thankfully, or not, means the show is short. I only had 30 episodes to watch between 3 arcs. The goal? To watch them before Wednesday the 17th, as that was the final day it'd be in IMAX. The premium showings did get extended by a week afterwards, but enough of the prologue of this video. I had a show to binge. And just a disclaimer, this video has been delayed immensely. It's been like a month and a half of the process, and this is the last thing I'm recording, and I'm uploading it today as we speak. There are some points where I don't touch upon everything, but that just comes from the longer I spend on a project, the less magic I feel for it. Alright. I love these 40-minute beginnings. I debated watching the first episode of Mugen Train. As I read, you get to see why Rengoku was sent there in the first place, but felt like I had no time to waste. The start of the arc was perfect for closure, and a sign of how that flame-haired man would never be forgotten throughout the series. And of course, the introduction to flashy Lord Tengen. Shinobu was right about seeing a big, strong individual and feeling safe, cause this man right here embodies that.
From here on out, things are gonna get real flashy.
I love the guy, and could you blame him for retiring? Still, you gotta wonder about his potential with the mark. I'm trying to go blind into the rest of the animation, so if he somehow gets into an intense fight, I'm popping champagne. I kinda forgot about Daki. I mean, I was crushing on her heavy, giggling and twirling my hair. And what's cool about the Daki Gyutaro finale is you finally get a grasp on how serious these upper ranks are. I'm gonna excuse the upper 3 train fight as I'm foggy on it, but our baseline is the difficulty of 6 required beheading 2 demons at once. Oh, and before I forget, episode 10's ending of the explosion cutting right into the credits, I creamed my pants, man. I gotta find that clip. That's cinema. Now, I am a fan of the demons' final moments, the flashback galore as they fade away. I like these two. There's a common theme of these stronger ones who faced a life struggle or were dealt horrible cards in one way or another, who lose themselves tragically through being a demon. I feel sympathy for them at their ends. May you find closure finally. If Gyutaro didn't stick with Daki till the end, I would have thrown a tomato at his ass. She needs you, bro. Okay, great freaking arc, Rengoku closure, Uzui flashness, everyone levels up their skills. Oh, Nezuko is freaking insane. I kept yelling at the TV for the team to just wake her up and use her skills. Inosuke almost died, and Zenitsu's final move was
real flashy.
Alright, we can move along. I hate when a story is calm and you're getting into the newly introduced environment and then BAM! We spent what, 2 episodes and some? Yeah, cut to the action, I get it. A strong sentiment after the more calm final arc. I was actually able to raw on Saturday and cleared the 11 entertainment arc episodes during the first half of the day. Then ended up coming back to the show about 3 hours later and binged these 11 up until maybe 2:30 a.m. or so with cooked eyes. Rhetorical question, hear me out. Who is this? And who is this? And who is this? And why does he look like this? Just sharing what occupied my thoughts all season. We're not going to touch upon this guy. He's ugly, annoying, and got no backstory. The most I'll give him is how funny it was that he was fixated on Hagenezuka's polishing. That's how you say his name, right? I forgot. Upper 4, though, was absolutely entertaining. You had all these split personalities running amok with anger at the center holding his staff, where they fused into an entity that kind of reminds me of Kid Buu. I thought Inosuke and Zenitsu might have died at some point as I glanced through the thumbnails of the last arcs and didn't see them much, so I love that one short segment of them acknowledging they're on the sidelines.
What gives? When's our turn?
Where the heck is the enemy? Nowhere, because our turn isn't happening for a while.
I appreciate Muichiro's story as I reflect on what comes later, as we don't spend as much time with every Hashira. Some have gotten full season hangouts, the others get their sprinkled scenes. I have to Google Snake Man and White Hair's names, for example. I know, that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I love the mark concept, but I'm not gonna look into it more because some minor research behind this video already led me to a spoiler. Keep your manga has already ended commotions to yourselves. I actually shed tears for Nezuko and felt relief for how she lived. But that's actually the turning point of the story. What could I possibly say here to summarize? I've had the Netflix episodes on a separate tab for a quick refresher. Oh my god, I forgot about this guy. I feel like Genya eating demons wasn't too addressed. Did I miss something? Love that shotgun of his. Oh yeah, if you're enjoying this Demon Slayer yap, you should hit that hype button. I haven't had a chance to use it, and it's on the same bar as the like button if you're on mobile. Let's see. Hype this up, maybe. Hashira Training Arc was a much needed refresher on the rest of the gang. I remember they were introduced towards the end of season 1, and I was curious throughout my watch about this guy here. What happened to him? Who was he? Why was he the odd one out towards the first half of the season? Man, talking about this has me wanting to rewatch the show. I don't have any notes here, hopefully understandably so. Just got another spoiler looking stuff up, but Sanemi's involvement was cut super short, yet they tied him so well to the finale where he killed the eyeball. 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘾 is rightfully a badass, and the Muzan head crush, though it didn't work, was incredible. He popped him with such finesse, and the way the final episode ends, cinema. Second cinematic moment after the credits. I mean, the close-up on Muzan after they were all going to attack, the traumatic sound to the transition after transition of everyone's point of view. Jeez! Sorry to everyone that tuned in summer of 2024 and had to wait this long. It's taken me a million of years to write this video, and I have since seen the movie twice more times. Short 𝙎𝙾𝘾 recap, perfect. Last minute of the last episode, perfect. The score as they fall down through the castle, perfect. This is what I've been waiting for. It's cool we've got a few pairings, especially Tanjiro and Giyu. They were bonding pretty well, and to see their relationship continue past the training arc was the best outcome for Tanjiro's path. As for the solo individuals, I think Genya is going to find someone eventually, and Inosuke might get his ass wrecked from the final bit in the credits where he sensed a powerful demon. I made a grave mistake though when I entered that theater, thinking this was going to be a non-stop action fest. 5 minutes of a sequence here, skip to another point of view, another fight for 7 minutes. Boy, was I wrong. So tell me how everyone is in the similar environment of the castle, but Shinobu, of all people, just had to end up at this palace of a temple by herself. That's malarkey. That shit was scripted, man. I have beef with this girl, and it has to be with how she wouldn't continue fighting after applying poison to Doma. It was always contact, see what happens, chat, repeat. Upon my second watch, I appreciated her backstory some more. The stakes were personal, and she put in commendable effort. It's a shame Shinobu suffered the fate she did, considering she was part of the Hashira we were more familiar with. And you know what? She had potential. Her speed was unmatched, and if she had trained to overcome her size weakness outside of medicinal properties, who knows, man? Who knows? I've got nothing for Doma. His freezing techniques are cool, but his backstory wasn't sufficiently told yet, so I'll give commentary on him in 2 years. Love his bright attitude though. Dude's a character. Good luck, Kanao. Zenitsu, when he's asleep or serious, is one of the most badass and a favorite character mind of the series for me. I had wondered why he went emo sitting on the rock, and luckily I didn't have to wait a year and 3 months to find out. Now the more interesting part here is that Kaiguku's the same person that snitched on 𝙎𝙾𝘾𝑆 group.
Kaiguku as one of the children in his orphanage. Surprise, surprise, offers up the other orphans and 𝙎𝙾𝘾 to save his own skin.
I would have never known. This man is a tragic case, like a Majin Vegeta that never returned to the light.
It is time to take back what is mine. I will not live my life as your second.
And you hate to see it. Kaiguku had people in his life, the group of orphans and 𝙎𝙾𝘾, then his mentor and co-trainee. But if he exhibited that foul behavior earlier on in his life, what chance at retribution was there for his soul? Zenitsu was right about the hole, if never mended, will continue to leak happiness. Yo, fourth wall break. How was that poetry? Of course I felt fear at the thought of a demon who's learned breathing techniques. I'm on to you, Upper One. And rightfully so, Kaiguku destroyed Zenitsu up until the last moment. The infusion of thunder breathing with blood demon art created that Omega Shenron energy. And crackled this man's body up. I think it would have been interesting to see how that effect would affect someone throughout a longer fight. Man could have been a crackling killer, but as you heard, Kaiguku hadn't mastered his techniques yet. I think an underrated aspect of animation are the camera angles they used, and the one that sort of swiveled around and closed up on Zenitsu before his 7th form attack was a chef's kiss. Everything about that attack was awesome, and I have to say, their fallout sucks. Kaiguku committed unforgivable actions, leaving Zenitsu to deal with the outcome, as if their relationship wasn't already rotten. They could have been a great pair, and Zenitsu's brief meeting with Gramps is the perfect ending, as it dares to tug at your heartstrings. This little demon, this guy. The longest runtime undeniably deserved. This is the creature that killed Rengoku, and although I watched that fight ages ago, I will never forget the intensity of how I wanted to cry like a baby at his death. And that's it, really. Akaza is the guy. You see him break through a gajillion floors as Giyu and Tanjiro prepare, and when you see his face, shit, here we go. The demon has traumatized the audience, and his boy collectively. That's how you structure a pseudo third act. There's a lot to unpack here. After a break from combat, when Giyu is tossed to the side, Tanjiro has a bit of a monologue about how we need the help of others. I can't believe Akaza had a deep-rooted hatred for this boy that was enough for the demon memory loss fog to clear up just a tiny bit. Something that stood out to me was, I believe it was the start of the Swordsmith Village Arc, where Muzan calls the upper demons and says they have been falling in the order of who has most of their humanity remaining. I don't know what humanity this ugly ass had if that's true, but A, I really doubt Upper 1 and 2 have any left. I mean, although you could say that about Akaza, but, and you saw what happens, right? And B, unless those two aren't crackhead determined to live, beheading them will work, right? Akaza seems built different in that regard. Like, that man was ready to live and fight forever and ever. Shit, even when he let go of his life, a glance of Muzan just inspired him to keep fighting. Anywho, with each demon faced, there's something unique about them which needs to be conquered, and in this case, it took some hard callbacks for Tanjiro to identify fighting spirit. We're talking about words from Akaza, a conversation with Inosuke, and an event with his own dad. Not saying that's a reach, but you gotta love a mid-battle advancement. I have nothing but praise for this whole section. I loved when Giyu's mark appeared on his face. Loved that Tanjiro held his own and tried his best to keep up with the battle no matter how messed up he was. Until he passed out. They made me like Akaza even though he killed a beloved character who the show never forgot. Every season we caught a glimpse of him, or his name was mentioned, and if you saw the last Taisho era secret, he's still there.
Good times. I remember them fondly. You'll be battling Muzan Kibutsuji soon. I'm counting on you.
Even though Akaza is personal, I like him. He was reborn as a human after facing a rough childhood, only for repeat trauma to occur. Reborn as a demon who, at the end of his life, took responsibility for the fact that he committed countless, senseless murders and ultimately let down the promises he made to those he loved in his life as a human. I'm ending the discussion here. This video is almost a month in the making, and I'm highly disappointed in myself, but I hope what has come of it is coherent enough for you to hit that subscribe button. I should have written summaries after each arc, but I didn't think I would want to make a video about this. After watching the movie, the inspiration freaking just zapped me. Infinity Castle has plagued my creativity and is finally over. Demon Slayer has skyrocketed up the ranks of my favorite things, and I'm just glad to be alive. And seriously, thanks for watching. I've been in the biggest creative slump, maybe the biggest of my whole time creating videos, and I should be out of it. Love what you like. Protect your energy, and
from here on out, things are gonna get real flashy.